Hey guys! Alright, I just wanted to jump on here really quick to kind of give you a quick little run through of the web quest that you are about to complete. Now, every single page has explicit step-by-step directions. I'm not going to read every single page through just because I know you guys know how to read. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through what this web quest entails, okay? So first of all, you're going to get this URL. Alright, it's really simple. I'll put it on the board. You can type it right in. I'll email it out, whatever. But it's just udhrmoviepitch.weebly.com /, okay? I'm going to go ahead and take that. And I'm going to type it in. And this is what you're going to see. This is that first page that you need to see. You need to make sure that you're on the introduction page, okay? So you're going to see lights, camera, action. And this is just the introduction page again. Like I said, just briefly introduces kind of the concept and what you guys are going to be doing. Now, this web quest is a project that's going to be based off of what we just did with the previous 2 units. So our unit with Night that we just read by Elie Wiesel, and then our mini research unit where you guys did the annotated bibliography on a human rights violation today. Okay, so you have to keep in mind what you learned in those 2 units, and that's what's going to help you get through this unit, okay? Now, right now, this is what the page looks like. First of all, this is going to be the only page with a black background, and you will see when we kind of move on through the other pages what colors they are. And the first thing I want to point out is there are going to be some terms on these pages that stand out compared to the rest of the text. It's going to be a different color. And that means that there's a hyperlink on that word, which means that something is attached to that word. If you click on it, it's going to send you somewhere, whether it be to a video to watch, whether it be to a website that gives you more information. It might be a PowerPoint with notes as a refresher, or it might be an assignment that you need to complete. So make sure that if you see any words that stand out, you click on it just to make sure you're not missing out on either extra information or an assignment that you need to complete. So we see right here on this first page that historical fiction stands out, right? It's white. The rest of the words are gray. If I were to click on this word, it's going to take me here to a Google slide that just gives me a basic definition of historical fiction. So if you forgot what that was, because I know we only briefly talked about it, this is just a quick little refresher. So I'm going to exit out of that. Also, you see right here this title, it says watch introduction video here. There's no video. Well, I'm recording that video for you right now. So when you actually start this assignment, you're going to see this video right here, and that's what you're going to need to watch, okay? One other thing that I want to point out is at the bottom of every blurb on each page, so wherever you see a big text box, right below it is going to be this little sound bar. Now if you hit play, you're going to hear me read. Play, give me a little bit of music. Skip ahead.
Camera, action.
Eventually you'll hear me speaking.
You and your production team have been selected to write and pitch a new historical fiction movie idea.
Alright, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but you see that it's basically just reading everything that's on the screen right here. So if you want to hear me read it, you can click play there and I read the page. If you want to follow along, you can play it. If you don't want to play it at all, that's cool. It's your choice. You guys are going to be working in groups anyways, so you guys can actually read to each other or with each other or whatever you guys want to do. It's there if you want it. Don't have to use it if you don't. But on every single page, you're going to see that. So if you see at the bottom here as well, there's a button that says next step, task. You'll also see up at the top, task is what's right after the introduction. So you can use either the top up here to kind of go through the steps that you need to do, or you can just follow the buttons at the bottom of each page and it's going to take you directly to the next step. I recommend using the buttons down at the bottom because it literally takes you from step to step to step to step and you won't miss any. So I'm going to hit next step task. And this page talks about the essential question, the sub-essential question, and just kind of a breakdown of the different roles you're going to be playing. So your essential question is the same 2 essential questions that we had with the previous 2 units. Because remember, we're building upon that concept, okay? So what are human rights and how are they still violated today? What does it mean to bear witness? Now remember, we've been talking about bearing witness, we've been talking about human rights violations, and we've been talking about the history of that and the current day status of human rights violations. We're going to continue to talk about that with this project. But our sub-essential question, that's the one that's changed, that's the one that's right below it, is what power do books and movies have in helping us bear witness to acts of inhumanity? So we watched The Boy in the Striped Pajamas as we read Night. And remember we talked about how that was historical fiction and how that kind of helped tell the story of the atrocities that happened in the Holocaust, or during the Holocaust. Now, it wasn't true, it wasn't based on a true story. We don't know if there was a person that really happened to, but we know that some of the things that did occur in that movie really did happen. Just maybe not to Bruno and his friend. But again, if you scroll down, this tells you exactly what you're supposed to do. And it tells you that throughout this project, you guys are going to be researchers, you're going to be writers, you're going to be analyzers, creative designers, directors, and producers. But again, I want to reiterate, everything is broken down step by step, so do not get overwhelmed. This isn't all on one page. You have to do all of these things. There are just 6 different pages of tasks, and each one you have a different role, okay? Now if I go down, again, here's that play bar. It plays my voice reading everything that's on that screen. And then if you hit next step, it takes me to the process, okay? Now this page is going to be broken. If you go to the top, you can see that it's broken down into different steps. But again, you can also kind of follow it at the bottom. But this is the page that I want to stop really quick and show you. Remember I told you that there are going to be some words that are different colors that stand out. It means they're hyperlinked. So this page is white. All the other pages are going to be white. So the words that you need to look out for are the words that are in red, okay? So right here we can see that this is talking about completing checkpoints. Now throughout each step, there are going to be little minor checkpoints that you have to submit to me before you can move on to the next step. You're not just going to complete this all in one big fell swoop and then turn everything at the end without me checking anything at all, because I'm going to make sure you're doing the right thing along the way, okay? And here for guidance. You click here, it takes you to what the actual checklist is going to look like. So everybody's going to get a copy of this. I'm going to print this out for everybody to have, and I will sign off on your checkpoints as you do them and show me, okay? I just wanted to kind of show you on this page what it looked like. You don't need to use the digital version of it. I have hard copies. I also want to touch base right here, and I want to remind you, there are going to be some documents that are linked on pages that are like graphic organizers for you to use to complete the steps. You do not have to complete them digitally. I do have hard copies, so if you feel more comfortable filling in a piece of paper and turning it in that way, so be it. Just when you get to that step, come ask me for that specific paper, and I will give it to you. If you do it digitally, you will submit it digitally. And I want you to remember, do not save anything directly to your computer if you're using a school computer. Because we know that if you save it directly to the computer, it's going to erase. It will not be there when you sign back in the next day. All your hard work will be lost. So you need to save it to either OneDrive, because you can access that from any computer at school. You need to save it to Google Drive, because you can access that from anywhere. You can go home and work on it if it's on Google Drive. You can share it with your classmates if you convert it to a Google Doc and upload it to Google Drive. Everybody can work on it at home if you want. Or save it to a USB. That way you know for a fact you will have it when you come back to class. Okay? Keep that in mind. Very important. I am not responsible for any work lost. You are. We're going to hit next step, and we're going to go to step 1. So what's in a name? This is step 1, and it tells you exactly what you're supposed to do. I'm not going to read it again. You guys can do that when you start it. But checkpoint 1A, you see this is a checkpoint, and you see checkpoint 1B, that sheet. You have to get both of these signed off once you complete them. So checkpoint 1A, you see submit a company name for approval here. You see that this is going to be hyperlinked. I'm going to click on it, and it's going to take you to a Google form. Now some of the checkpoints, I think most of the checkpoints are going to be Google forms. You're going to click on it, and you're going to answer the questions, and you're going to submit whatever it is that needs to be checked for this checkpoint, okay? Now, once you hit submit, do not just jump right into the next task. You need to let me know that you've submitted so that I can go check and sign you off, okay? Because you might have something that's incorrect, or I might need to send you back and tweak some of the information, or maybe it's just grammatically a little messy and I need you to fix it or something. I'm going to send you back to tweak it, resubmit it, and then once it's good to go, I will sign you off, okay? So make sure once you do that, you, after every checkpoint, tell me. I have to sign you off before you move on. And here's that little sound bar. So next step, step 2. Here's another hyperlink. It's going to be another Google form. I'm going to try and find, okay, so here's where we're going to start the research phase of this, which you guys are already familiar with. We have done research already, and I've gone through PowerPoints. But right here are the 2 PowerPoints that we went over in class for the last unit about research. It's just if you need to remember the CRAP test, because you don't remember the CRAP test, and you can't remember how to check for credibility, you can click on this and the PowerPoint will download to your computer, okay? So now if I open it, maybe, give it a minute, here's the CRAP test, and I can remind myself, oh yeah, credibility and currency. How long ago was this article written, and is it still kind of relevant to what's going on? Purpose and point of view, authority, reliability, keep all of those in mind, okay? Same with the research basics. You will have to do soapstones again. So I put an example soapstone here and a blank soapstone here, okay? So if you click on it, it's gonna download a Word document for you to open, okay? This is one of those options that you can complete this digitally, so you guys can do this as a group digitally and just email it to me, or print it off and turn it in the media center, or I have hard copies, okay? So again, if you guys are kind of starting to get the gist, I want to show you a couple of things. We go to step 6. You see here that I actually have some YouTube videos right here on the screen. You can click it, listen to it, watch it. These are links to videos as well. That's pretty much it for what I wanted to show you during the process. Again, you keep following the buttons at the bottom until you get to the end. So go to the final step. Here's the final step. Evaluation. And we see evaluations the next thing after process. This is just basically a rubric that you need to keep in mind as you complete this project. This is what I'll be looking for that final submission. When you get all of the steps and you combine it into one project, you put it together, that's what you turn in. This is what I'm going to be looking for, okay? I'm not going to show you the conclusion. You guys can see the conclusion when you finish. It's a little exciting thing, so don't jump ahead. Just do it. Come to it when you do. But teacher info, it's boring. You don't need to know teacher info. This is stuff for me and for like other teachers. Just kind of, I talk about why we do it, what you kind of need to do beforehand. The standards, if you're interested in the standards, I have the standards that we cover in a left-hand column here. And then here in the right-hand column, I talk about exactly how we cover that standard, like what we do to cover that standard. And then if you scroll down, the technology standards are at the bottom, and I talk about how we cover those as well. And then resources, again, it's not exciting, it's for teachers. This is just all of the links and the files and like the PowerPoints that I put throughout the web course for you guys to use right here in one convenient location for teachers. Don't worry about it. My works cited page, again, don't worry about that. But that's all I have for this video. I hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions, like, please don't hesitate to ask. I'll be circulating the room. Other than that, good luck and have fun.